That's how you spell quarantine for sure.
I know what it says. I got it.
You got it. You're like, I can pronounce syzygy.
All right, I know the word syzygy now. I'm ready.
Not to brag or anything, but the only way I know that line is from a musical called the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
How you keep all that up there?
I have an extra drive. Hi, welcome to Two Lacquered Ladies, the podcast about nail polish and nail art by the ladies who stream it. I'm Stephanie, aka Fanatic here on every social media platform that matters. I am an unprofessional nail artist, and I like to make fan art on my nails.
Howdy, my name is Danie, and you can find me as Danie Shout online. I'm a science educator by day and a nail art hobbyist by night. On stream, I like to create scenes with themes on my nails.
Woo! Welcome the heck back!
It's been a minute. It's been a wild minute.
It has been an absolutely wild butt minute. This is going to be a Stephanie wants to curse but can't stream the whole way through. I'll try to censor myself because we're not going to edit this very much.
No, we're doing it live.
Yeah, we're basically doing it live, which is, it's going to be very hard for Danie and I, who are so used to having our content just completely polished before it gets out there.
Sure.
Yeah. We're streamers, obviously. You know that. We know that. So we're used to this, but usually I do really go over this podcast with a fine-tooth comb.
Yes. No, your editing skills are amazing and the episodes are so good, but you know what? We're going to see if you're unnecessary for this one. You're
going to make me redundant today, and I can't wait.
Where have we been?
Well, we just got back from Polish and Beauty Expo in Tinley Park, Chicago. Tinley Park, Chicago. Yeah, Chicago, the state. Georgia, the country. Tinley Park, Illinois, very close to Chicago. And we had a wild time. So, we got to start somewhere, Danie. Where do you think we should start?
I think we should start with how did we even hear about this thing? Because a nail polish convention, granted that it's technically nail polish and beauty, but let's be honest with ourselves, with our audience. It's 99% nail polish. Sorry, cosmetics. We love you, but it's mostly for the nails. But yeah, how did you hear about it first?
So I'm pretty sure I heard about it from being in the Kelly Marissa Patreon, mostly the Facebook group, but also there's a Discord that Kelly is not officially involved in that a lot of her fans will go to, and they were planning this last year. I remember Stacy Quality Nails went last year. Obviously, she went again this year, and they were all planning for it, and I thought that would be really fun, but I am but a babe in this scenario.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go, because that was, I think, about 2 years ago. And then last year, we were both streaming. Mm-hmm. So a lot of our friends were like planning on, I know that, a few people were planning on going last year and went last year, but we didn't.
Yes. And that's how I heard about it, is whispers in the chat talking about, PPE. And I was like, what is this mystical, Polish and Beauty Expo? And my first, real exposure and understanding of what it was, because I know what a convention is, but I've only ever been to teacher conventions and accidentally stumbled into one game board convention in college. That's a story for another time. But yeah, I was like, what would that even entail? And it was Mediocre Manny's Hillary, her vlog of last year's PBE that really got me to understand what it was exactly, which is primarily shopping. There are also, some little stamping and water marbling demos set up, which is nice, but the main event is definitely a shopathon with all these makers coming together, setting up their tables in this big convention area, and just the release of the masses upon them. It's a little scary.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see what the actual convention was like. We'll get into it a little bit later, but I unfortunately came down with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we were there
for the first time.
For
You've been dodging and weaving for 3 years.
I have. Oh my goodness. So, we'll talk very soon about our own personal meet and greet that we had. We are hoping to have that next year as well, which was absolutely fabulous. And I got to meet my precious Danie for the first time.
Yes, I touched your face, and it was so soft and beautiful.
I know. Oh my God. I told Danie, but I'll tell you. Dang, if you think Danie is pretty online, Danie is so gorgeous in person.
Thank you.
Sorry for taking it there, but I got it.
No, I feel the same about you. Like, you are so gorgeous on camera, and it translated perfectly in person. You know what I mean? Like, you did not lie on your profile.
You're like, this isn't. Are you sure? Is that an old picture?
No,
that you streamed live?
Exactly. No, it's so awesome to meet you and see you and get to hug you and just stand next to you in line at Party City and just look at, I don't know, I love that the first thing we did together was shop at Party City.
We did, because I said we had these goodie bags we were giving to people if they wore merch, but we ended up giving out just a lot more goodie bags too.
Oh yeah, I was like, you get a goodie bag and you get a goodie
bag. Yeah, there's worse things than having people run around wearing your stickers and buttons.
Yes.
At one of these things. So we were pretty loose with it. But I said they were going to be kazoos. And I knew leaving my house that I did not pack kazoos because I couldn't find I got these metal kazoos, or metallic at least. I don't know if they're metal. And I was going to pack those in, and I just couldn't find them. So I was like, okay, Dan, we got to go to Party City. It's the only place I know that sells kazoos.
And they also sell like fabulous cowboy hats, apparently. That was an exciting discovery.
I think Texas is just really popular right now, like cowboy culture.
It's very vogue, apparently.
Yeah, it really is. So we saw like an entirely like disco balled out cowboy hat.
Yeah, rhinestones dripping from the sides. They were fabulous. I really liked them.
If they fit on my head just a tiny bit better, I absolutely would have bought one of those. But I was like, ugh, it just doesn't fit quite right. Doesn't fit, but maybe next time, because that would be a good way to get people's attention at Polish and Beauty Expo.
Oh yeah. Next merch line is going to be cowboy hats.
Absolutely, it really should be. Honestly, it really should be. So yeah, we went to Party City. I got to meet Ghost Husband. He was absolutely just sweet as pie. Oh my goodness. I did my nails in Danie's hotel room.
Yes, that was fun. It was a little bit of a fiasco trying to figure out, like, where to do things and all that kind of stuff. And we ended up at my hotel room because your hotel room didn't have any chairs. And I don't know if you want to talk about that or not, but you had a weird hotel room.
I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that because the Even Hotel in Chicago, had I not been trapped in that room all weekend, I probably wouldn't have noticed it as much as I did. But at the Even Hotel, it is a wellness hotel, which basically means that there are more gyms than a normal hotel, and there's also workout equipment in the room, including a vertical bar that you could tie things to if you wanted to work out on it, or something else. I don't know what that would be. But so that took up this big corner of the room. And so there was one chair that my butt was too big to fit in. And then there were two like square ottomans, but there wasn't like a couch or a comfy chair. And so being locked in there for about 3 days was the worst.
Yeah.
Also like every wall, like at least one per room, had like these affirmations on the wall, like sleep well, dream big on the bed. There was one in the bathroom too. I wish we had taken this, actually. I wish we had taken the do not disturb sign, because it was like, I'm busy doing big things. It's like, no, I'm sleeping, babe. Like, I'm sleeping, or this room is so messy, I just don't want you to even look at it. I don't want you to be involved in this room.
Yeah.
The best one, and like, weirdly enough, this is not the first time that this scenario has kind of happened. So we did not want to take the elevator a lot, because elevators are very enclosed. So we were trying to use the stairs when we went downstairs. Luckily, we were only on the second story, so it wasn't a big deal. But we were taking the stairs, and the stairs had like these signs that said like, use the stairs, like your heart will thank you. And then you get down and it's like, they're not steps, they're little hurdles. And so the first one that we tried to go down led to an emergency exit, and I am not sure if there was alarmed or something.
Yeah.
But that reminded me of the time that I was at a medical facility and they had similar like affirmations next to the stairwell, and I went inside and I was like, okay, I'll do this. And I walked up the stairs and the door was locked to the floor I wanted to go to, or the only other floor. And then I walked downstairs, the door had locked behind me.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, where's Jigsaw? What's happening here? So I had to bang on the door, and somebody was like looking at me like, what? And I'm like, look, you don't know my life. Jigsaw trapped me in here. Thank you for releasing me. So anyway, we did find one that did go down to the lobby. It did go down to the lobby. And some amazing artist, poet, some amazing human had taken the sign that said, don't think of them as stairs, they're tiny hurdles, or they're little hurdles, and they had kind of ripped it up, so instead it said, don't think of them as stairs, they're little turds.
Bless them.
Bless them. That was honestly the highlight of my trip, and awesome. I might even just put it as my background on my computer, because I have a picture right here of that sign. But yeah, it was very girl bossy. Just affirmations everywhere. You know, rise and grind. They could have just written rise and grind and then put hashtag girl boss on the mirror. But someone pointed out it is attached to a convention center, and they probably do have quite a few MLMs. Probably. I don't think you can stay in business as a convention center without hosting those.
Unfortunately, I think that's true.
So yeah, it was a weird room. It was, yeah.
So you came over to mine, which was also kind of a weird room. This hotel it's not small, and yet it had one singular teeny tiny elevator, and really narrow hallways. It was kind of a strange layout for my hotel. But at least it had a desk with a chair where you could do your nails after you scooted my eco-toxicology homework out of the way, which, yes, I was doing homework the whole trip because hashtag girl boss, I guess.
Gaslight gatekeep girl boss, Danie. Doing it for the rest of us.
Yeah. So that was really funny. And you made some really cute Gem in the Hologram nail art in that room, and it was a great time while I put together goodie bags, and it was really fun.
Yeah, I was really happy with that nail art, and I think it went with my lipstick tips. Of course, we were meeting Jill while we were there. Mm-hmm. And Truly Outrageous is her favorite nail polish she's ever made, and she talked about it on our podcast, so I just really wanted to celebrate her. I did get to see her and her partner Jaren before I got sick, and they did not get sick, thank goodness.
Yes.
And so that was really great, but it was just for me that weekend. Yes. Just me and my really nice nail art.
I did not do nail art for the trip, which was kind of weird for me, but I don't know. I was trying to get a whole bunch of of my collabs done before we left so that I could post them, while we were on the road and stuff. So I just kind of ran out of time. So I was just wearing one polish the whole time, but it was pretty and it held up really nicely. It was a Mooncat polish from their new Alice in Wonderland collection, which maybe we'll talk about, maybe we won't, but that was a thing that happened.
Yeah, we might talk about that. I might buy that. I keep thinking if they still have the box, I might buy it for my sister. I think she'd love it. But
yeah,
you wore, I wish I hadn't cried so much.
Yeah, I wish I hadn't cried so much, which is a great name and a great polish. It's like a light blue flaky bomb. It's really gorgeous, but I mostly bought it for the name, not gonna lie.
So we did have a meetup. We did have a meetup the night before. We went to the Chicago Classic, I guess, Portillo's.
Yeah.
There was one in Tinley Park. I have heard. Sorry, that's my phone. Husbando says, "Would you like Italian for dinner?" Only if they have Italian beef, because they don't have cheesesteaks.
You can't call it cheesesteaks
in Chicago.
Not
Italian
allowed.
Beef. We were wondering who around they had Italian beef with, but there were a lot of Italian beef places. So it's absolutely it's a war zone. It's a war zone out there for the Italians.
Portillo's was really good. I had never had a Chicago style hot dog before. I guess I've heard of that, but I didn't really know it was a thing. I always think of like deep dish for Chicago. And it was delicious. It was absolutely delicious. It was so many things I wouldn't normally put on a hot dog, like whole tomato slices and like a salad, it felt like, just piled on top of there, but it was so good. So good job, Portillo's. And the cake shake, it lived up. It lived up to the expectations. That was delicious.
I will say, for me, I can't say it was good to the last drop, because at the bottom of the cake shake
is just the cake.
It's just a little bit of soggy cake. So maybe if you're into tres leches, that's your deal.
Yeah.
I'm not.
That's true. Yeah, we ran out of ability to suck it through the straw, and we were like, that's enough of that.
Yeah, we're good now. I also had Culver's. Speaking of ice cream and cake, my therapist is from Chicago, and one thing she helped us figure out where to hold our meetup, because I said, I need a place that there's like a lot of space and that people can go order their stuff at the counter, so we're not figuring out the bill at the end. And she said, Portillo's, go there.
It's perfect.
But she also said, I have to go to Culver's as soon as I'm in Chicago, which I feel like Culver's is everywhere but California.
Yeah, we had one here. I mean, it shut down, but we had one here. I didn't know it was a big deal anywhere, I guess.
I think it's just not in Southern California, and I kind of want to see if there is one close by, because, like, I was raving about it, and other people were just like, it's Culver's, Stephanie. And I'm like, it's cheese curd. And they had like basically a blizzard, like a Dairy Queen blizzard. But I could put cake and I could put peaches in it, and I was just like, these people are playing 4D chess.
No, Chicago has figured out how to work the blender, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, they're like, you take the cake, you take the ice cream, you put them together. Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. It was so good.
It was so good. I had Italian beef because I felt like I had to have Italian beef.
Yeah.
Another thing about the restaurants, I know you want us to get to the meetup, but we're going to talk about the restaurants, is that every Asian restaurant, despite what they claim to be, regardless, in that area, they are all pan-Asian.
Yes.
So they will all, like, yeah, Danie and I both got Moe's Chinese.
Yes, it was good.
It was very, very good. Their crab rangoons were, like, as big as my head. They were insane.
Nice.
But yeah, I've never gotten California rolls at a Chinese restaurant before.
Yeah.
They were okay. They were the whitest. I know they were fake crab. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because most of them here are as well, obviously. But They were just absolutely white. The meat was just like, there was like no red. It was, I was like, is this more rice?
It's just more rice.
There's more rice in there. But yeah, it was just, there was JoJo's Asian Bistro,
Yes.
which Hubs and I were calling JoJo's Bizarre Asian Bistro. And that also was a bunch of different stuff, but that at least was like, we're Asian.
Yeah.
The best one was the izakaya nearby, which, if you're familiar with the term izakaya, like, is a specific type of Japanese restaurant, and this was not it.
Nope. Nope. I've never seen a menu before where I can get, orange chicken, California roll, and pad thai, just all in one. I've seen different combos of that, but I've never seen like literally just all the Asian cuisines in every restaurant.
Yeah, it was certainly an experience. And I'm glad that you've not seen that too. I'm not glad. I mean, I don't really care. It's a restaurant.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's just because I'm like from California, and like, is that why? But no, I think it's just a Tinley Park thing.
Yeah, Tinley Park does its best to appeal to everyone at the same time. Which is fine. It was very clean. Driving was very easy. There wasn't like a lot of crazy traffic or anything, because I looked at a map, but I wasn't entirely sure just like how Chicago-y it was gonna get. But no, Tinley Park felt very separate from Chicago. It's like its own suburban, area. And the convention center was real nice. I thought it was really clean, and it wasn't too big, which was nice, because I was always, when I picture a convention center, I picture getting lost in just like hallways upon hallways. But no, Tinley Park was super easy to navigate, so I did appreciate that.
It was. I actually like learned how, like, I didn't really need a lot of like maps. I learned how to get around pretty fast. So yeah, so we met up with Sunburnt Galaxy, who is from my chat, one of my mods. Sunburnt did catch my disease.
So sorry.
She said that she didn't regret going even if she caught it, and she had to live up to those words because she did catch it. So yeah, she's on the mend. But it was so wonderful to see her.
Yes, she was so fun.
Yeah.
Krista was the first one there. Polished Bibliophile on Instagram. Absolute delight. So cute, so fun.
Cute.
Just oh man. And she brought me a present. She brought me a polish from Bee's Knees lacquer that she had an extra of, and she just gave it to me, and I was like, that is so sweet. It was awesome.
I was so happy she was there, because I know that you two were just hanging out the entire weekend, and I was supposed to be there. I was supposed to be your social crutch all weekend. You were to be mine.
Yes.
And I actually sent her a message like, thank you so much for watching after my Danie.
I do need watching over. It's true.
Yeah, because I just felt, oh my God. I was just like, she's all alone out there with the wolves.
Yes. I mean, kind of really. Like, I didn't go to a lot of parties in my youth. I still don't go to a lot of parties. I come home with lizards when I do. That's another story for another time. I don't know if I've told that on the podcast.
You definitely told me, and I feel like, but yeah, honestly, you'll have to tell it again sometime.
Yep, y'all will just have to come to my streams and ask me about it. So I'm not great at parties. I get overwhelmed easily, and knowing that you weren't going to be there was very scary. But Krista stepped in, and she was right there for me, and we kept finding each other. We were the look of like relief when we saw each other. We're like, oh.
Nail polish, God bless. Like, yeah, and I love parties. I love them. I love them so much. And there was karaoke after, and I was so sad. Because like I am a party animal. I have two forms. I have like weird little stay at home, like I don't want to go do anything, or party animal. I'm like, I need my group to be me or 50 to 1,000 people. Like, those are my two levels. And I wanted to party so hard. I was so ready to party.
I know. I was so sad when I heard about the karaoke. I was like, are you kidding me? I didn't go because, of course, I didn't go. Yes, me and Ghost Husband were like, we must run away now. Goodbye.
Yeah. Hubs was so sad too because he really wanted me to sing in front of people and to watch me sing. Our last road trip that we took before this road trip, we actually stopped at some random place and they just happened to have karaoke and we had a ball. We had a blast. And so anytime, like, if there's karaoke, I'm there. I mean, if you're in my stream, sometimes my favorite karaoke DJ comes by. Like, that's how much I love karaoke. So yeah, so we also had Zudzy yes! Manicures, and so much fun, so fun to meet her, and I was just so happy because a while before the convention, she messaged me and said, "Convince me to go." I said, "We're having a meetup," and she was like, "Sold."
I love that. Sold. Yeah, I didn't realize Sudsy was so close to me, so I'm definitely gonna have to get in contact with her and be like, "Hey, let's go on an adventure," because she was adorable and so much fun. I still don't know what movie she was reenacting with the markers, but I was having a good time. And she brought her friend along, and I didn't really get to talk to them a whole lot, but it was so nice to have them there. And then we kept seeing each other at the actual expo, and it was exciting. It was like, hey! It's so much fun.
Yeah, we had some Sharpie theater.
Yeah.
Because I found out that, I mean, this happens a lot. A lot of people don't actually know at all what happens in The Boy.
Nope.
Which is good, because if you want to go watch it, which I'm not saying you should, it does impress me when people
She's
do.
saying you
don't
should.
Don't get me wrong. The thing is I said it before, I'll say it again, that movie has given me Stockholm Syndrome. The first time I watched it, I was like, that's pretty bad. And now I'm like, do you want to watch a great movie? There's a dude in it, his chest is hairy. And so I decided to reenact it with markers, because that's what we had. And yes, it divulged into also a reenactment of Empire Records. At the table, and we still have some artifacts from that reenactment.
Mm-hmm.
I brought home the funeral scene, my artistic representation of the funeral.
The one
scene.
on the napkin.
The one on the napkin. And I also brought home the spoon that we used for Rex Manning. So
perfect.
It was a good time, but yeah, it was so much fun. Oh, also, we got a few gifties left by Sunburnt Galaxy. Mm-hmm. I've got some Zoya Z wide brushes.
Excellent.
Very happy with.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just a nice little get together, and we already have some more people who are looking forward to doing it next year. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna try our darndest to be there next year. I'm gonna go with a vaccine drip, a space helmet. I will not speak to anybody for 3 weeks before I leave for that. But yeah, next year I'm actually probably gonna fly. Mm. So if I get there and have COVID, I probably just won't know.
That'll work.
So it'll work. But yeah, luckily the damage was minimal. We just had a very good time, and the next morning I was like, this don't feel right. Yeah, that was the worst. Oh, when I got that text, I was like, no. Like, are you kidding me? But when I went to go get my COVID tests, I got back and the elevator doors opened, and there was Hillary right in my face, and she's like, "Hey, arms out wide," and I cried about it later. And obviously I did the right thing. She completely appreciated that I did this, but I just said, I turned away. I was already wearing a mask. I turned away from her. I said, "I'm not feeling too good." And then she just went, "Pat on the back, champ."
There you go. Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. But How did the rest of it go, Danie? Let's talk about your experience.
Okay, yeah. Kind of, we're locked away from there, then on there, then on that English.
Then on there.
Then on there. Oh, my head's still spinning, I guess. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so that was Friday night. No. Yes, Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
That's right. That's right. That's how days work. Saturday. Saturday was interesting because we kind of planned to go sightseeing since nothing was planned until the get-together that evening. But Krista, Polish Bibliophile, had an in for the polish making class with Glitter Unique. And I got to meet Nikki, who owns Glitter Unique, and she was super cool. Like, you know, when you think of like a cool chick, it's Nikki from Glitter Unique, apparently, because she was cool. And she was so fine with me being there, which was really nice. She's a cool chick. And her husband was cool too. He was helping out. They're just like a cool couple. And I was a little bit in like, you know, like the nerdy kid looking at the cool kids and like, oh, like, I can go to your party. The class was so much fun. I'm horrible at making polish is what I learned. However, it was a lot of fun, and I just I just went at it and kind of slapped some things together, and I made some polishes. I did make a Franken polish because you gotta, and so I Frankened some polish together, and at the end I was like, I'm just gonna throw in glitter. I'm just gonna throw in like all the glitter, and so I named that one Fun and Me Time. So sitting across from me on the table was Katie from Nails of Another Kind, and she had the coolest stream setup. So she had a camera mounted to her shoulder, her phone on this like wrist strap thing so she could see chat. She was a pro over there, and so she had her stream going along with her while she made polish, and I thought that was the coolest idea. Now I've got to look into that for next year. I think that would be so much fun.
I experienced most of the expo through her.
Yes, that was awesome. I'm so glad that she was there to do that.
Yeah,
and like,
seriously.
From what you told me, like it really good quality too. So she got a good setup.
Yeah. I was very impressed. It was very pro from my end.
Yeah, so that was really fun having her right there, and it's so funny introducing yourself to people because you're like, oh, I'm Danie of Danie Shout. Like, you have to say your handle and stuff, so people are like, oh, I know who you are. Or show them your hands, be like, it's me, see? Like, I know those nails. Yeah, I was looking around the expo trying to figure out, I bet I know so many of these people by like their, like if you showed me their profile, I'd be like, oh, I recognize who that is, but no idea what their face looks like. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, so polish making class was really fun. And then later that evening we had the meet and greet, which had this fabulous buffet all set out. The food was good. It was, hotel buffet food, which is one of my favorite genres. It's pretty delicious. There was this broccoli that was like so burnt. Like I got 2 pieces because I was like, I need some vegetables, but like at the table, it was me, and then there was Wendy of Wendidamus next to me, and Punch Buggy was there as well. We were all sitting at the Glisten and Glow table, and I put the broccoli in my mouth and immediately like took it back out because it was nasty. And like Punch Buggy kind of teased me. She was like, I like it when it's crispy, and then she did the same thing. She put it in her mouth and spat it right back out because it was it was so gross. I was like, no amount of crispiness. This isn't crispy. This is burnt.
See, when you said that, I was like, I'd be fine with that, but maybe I wouldn't be.
I don't know. The flavor was weird, but everything else was delicious. I don't know why that became a core memory, but anyway.
Strangest things do.
But dinner was great. We're socializing, and like my cheeks were hurting from all the smiling and laughing and talking. I was out of practice. And trying to remember, I saw Hillary go by and go sit at like a table in the back. I was like, you think you're going to get away from me, but you're not. Oh, Hillary story. Okay. So that morning, Saturday morning, we went out to brunch, and we're sitting and we're talking. I'm looking around because I hear people behind me talking about PBE stuff, like, and polish, and who's going to be there and all that. So I was eavesdropping on them, trying to get some tips. And then as I look around, I spot Hillary and Stacy sitting at a table further in the restaurant. So I take a selfie of mostly my forehead with Hillary in the background, and I send it to her like a creep. And she was like, what the heck? And then I went out and said, yeah, I thought I was hilarious. So then I went out and said hi to her and stuff like that. And then that picture, I was showing it to Wendy and Punch Buggy and telling that story at dinner when Hillary walked up right as I was showing the picture. So I double creeped Hillary. I was like, of course you walk up right as I'm showing this picture. Oh, it's unfortunate timing, but I think she forgave me because I got to walk around with her, and we looked at the tables of who all the makers that were going to be there, and they had some of their polishes on display. That's also where we got some free polishes, which was cool. So we swung by Red-Eyed Lacquer because it was the maker's birthday, and we wished her a happy birthday, and we got a free polish out of it.
Oh, nice!
Isn't that cool? It's What's My Age Again? Cute. I love it.
Oh, I love that.
And then Pinnacle Polish, which is a brand that was new to me, but I was very excited to get their fish-themed polishes at the expo. They put out just like a bunch of free ones. So I picked up one that was like the most common color. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to make sure that everybody got what they wanted. So I picked up this like cool bright green shimmer called Invested. So I'm excited to try that out. But yeah, it was really fun walking around, checking stuff out, talking to so many people. We saw Nicole Loves Nails with her bright rainbow braids, and I was like, oh my god, she's real.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about most of these people. I was like, oh my god, they're real. Like, they're right there. It was so cool.
I feel like I've started to feel like just meeting people, it's just like, for me, I used to feel that way if I met somebody from like online that I'd never met before. But now it just feels so like natural to me. Maybe if I was there, it would have been very different.
It was overwhelming, the number of them. Yeah, all at once.
Yeah. Yeah, so I can't say I'm not like, well, I know that I would be. Like, I have no clue, but maybe it's just because like meeting you, meeting Hillary, meeting, the people that we met at our meetup, stuff like that. I forgot to mention, I did meet a few people on the way.
Oh yeah
to the expo. We'll probably go into this a little bit more later because it's expo adjacent, but I did meet Summer from Plus Life Lacquer, who she's just so amazing. Gave me this amazing little bag of goodies. And we went to go buy some cheap nail supplies at a nail supply store in Las Vegas, including this incredible empty bottle of acetone.
Yes.
You may have seen me pose with on Instagram. I wanted to bring it around and drink out of it at the expo, but I was not able to. And also Lacquered Dactyl. I met up with Lacquered Dactyl. He took me to Flavor Town. And we had an amazing time, and he's so awesome. Much fun. It was so cool meeting them. And yeah, so anyway, moving back on. I just didn't want to get through this without at least mentioning those people. So
before we get into the actual expo, let's take a cuticle break. So that I can remember what all happened in that blur of amazingness and glitter.
Yeah. All right, let's oil those cutes, and we'll be right back. Hey everyone, it's Stephanie. Did you spend enough money at Polish and Beauty Expo? I know I didn't. Good thing it's almost time for Polish Pickup Bingo. Join us Sunday, July 30th for fun and prizes as we shop Polish Pickup Dreamscapes. Stay dreamy. All right, we are back. We are moisturized in our lane, thriving. I did oil my cuticles. I've been a bad girl, and I've not been oiling my cuticles, especially during our cuticle breaks, which is my designated time that I must oil my cuticles.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna work on that. But we are back with our guest Danie, who experienced Polish and Beauty Expo.
I do feel like I'm the guest this time because I'm talking so much. Yes,
I love it.
I'm so glad you are. My jaw hurts. It's like at the end of summer when we go back to school and I start teaching again, and this is what it feels like. I'm like so exhausted from talking. I'm like, oh my God, I don't normally talk this much.
It didn't help that when like we also had like an hour-long conversation before we started.
But that was good. It was nice to catch up because
so good.
Didn't get enough time with you. This dang virus has taken so much from the world, including my Stephanie time. It's not fair.
But I still loved. I didn't get to say Danie brought me some flowers and and her husband printed out a little like a hand printed meme, the likes of which I haven't seen since high school. And it's like when you catch COVID in 2023, and it was like first time, the guy's about to be tagged. Oh my God, that the gifts and things, the people just kept coming and leaving gifts and trinkets and there was a bit of a misunderstanding with my swag bag and stuff, and Danie and Krista showed up with 2 swag bags for me. They bought with their own money because they're real. They're real ones. Yeah. I know who a real one is.
That was Krista's idea. I missed the announcement. I think it was towards the end of the expo that they announced that they were selling the bags, and just all of a sudden her boyfriend like took off under orders from her. I was like, where is he going? She's like, to get a swag bag. I was like, oh, get 2. So I gave her the money. So that was, I'm glad she caught that because I wouldn't have caught that. I was standing in line at the PPU table at the time, but I will get there. So let me back up a little bit. So for PPE, like I said, my main introduction was Hillary's vlog, and Hillary, for those who don't know, is crazy. Just kidding, I love you. But she is very good about doing research and making lists and knowing like who's got the goodies at the tables that are gonna run out, and like she's the man with the plan. And I was really not sure how to even start that process. So I finally signed up for a Facebook account after almost a decade of not having one, just to get on the Polish and Beauty Expo page and start trying to do research. And it was overwhelming. Like there was so many pictures and posts and stuff, and I was just like, I don't know. So I went in zero plan. My plan was just to like walk down the tables and just see what I see and just soak up the vibes, because I knew I wasn't going to get the doorbusters. I feel like only the VIP tickets got those. So that was the thing. We showed up. I thought that the doors opened to general admission at 12. No, the line opens up. So we got in line at 12 for admittance at 1 p.m. But it worked out because we were almost at the head of the line, so we got in pretty early, but the VIPs of course had already been in there for an hour and all that kind of stuff, so it was a lot of hurry up and wait and hurry up and stand in line and stuff like that. But once we got into the expo, it was kind of magical. It was like, oh, and like all the tables are set up and there's just polish everywhere and people everywhere, and we just started hopping lines and we went down, and I focused on getting exclusives. So I was like, every table I was like, what's your exclusives, because it was cool to see everybody's like collections and things like that, but if I can buy it on the website later, I didn't want to buy it in person. I was really just focused on if it said like PBE 23 on the bottle. That's all I really cared about. But we still ended up getting some really cool stuff, and of course me and Krista were like attached to the hip, and shout out to the men in our lives. Because Katie was there again with her cool stream setup, but this time it was attached to her partner, and he was he was like stabilizing with his shoulders and walking around. And
can I say I want the Aaron reveal. Give us the Aaron reveal. I was in that chat going, Aaron reveal.
Well, he's super nice. I can tell you that. Yeah, that was cool. I got to be on her stream towards the end of Expo there. And I was like talking to his shoulder, but also like looking at him because it's weird kind of to talk to a camera that's next to someone's face. And then she handed me a microphone that I did not know what to do with. I was a little bit of a scatterbrained mess. It was a little overwhelming, but it was so much fun. We of course ran into Hillary and Stacy again, and I passed on the goodies that were supposed to be exchanged, including a little beetle like jewelry box thing. I don't really know. It's like a trinket box for my trinkets. Everybody loves trinkets. And Hillary liked it a lot more than I was expecting, so that made me really happy. She talks about it in her almost 2-hour-long vlog video. So if you're curious what was in the Two Lacquered Ladies goodie bag, she does unbox that in that video, so you can see all the little...
she does! Okay, I actually haven't made it all the way through.
Yeah, it's towards the end after the polish, so it's a ways in. But yeah, she does open up our goodie bag, which is fun.
I'm still a little sad. It's still a little bittersweet.
I know, I'm sorry.
You know? So, it's okay. It's, you know, I feel very satisfied that I handled it the way that I did.
Mm-hmm.
And if everybody can come home safely,
mm-hmm.
that's worth more than 100 Polish and Beauty Expos.
Yep.
So
it's true. But hopefully next year we'll get you there in a bubble and you'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, roll me in a hamster ball, please.
So yeah, I wanted to shout out to all the partners that I was calling my husband Bag Boy the whole time, and he kept correcting me. He's like, it's a bag man. I'm like, Bag Boy. But no, he was on top of it. He was focused. He was like, what line do you need me to jump into? And I was like, okay, that one, but I don't know what I want. But just go hold my place in line. So that's what he would do, because, you know, some of the booths had longer lines than others, so he would go hold my place in one line while I was like hitting up some smaller booths and then jump in there. And he was wearing the backpack that we got from Polish Pickup just for this event, and like it was full of bubble wrap that I have saved over the last couple months. So like I was just like depositing polish into his bag and then running off again, and he was such a champ. It was awesome. So thank you, Ghost Husband. You're the best. The longest line that I saw, I kept hearing this hype about Great Lakes Lacquer, and I was like, okay, I've got to check them out. And I was anticipating a really long line at that table, and maybe there was in the beginning, but by the time I got there, no line. We just walked right up. Granted, they had sold out of like most of their stuff, but they didn't sell out of the one polish I wanted, which is this beautiful blue. It's the last Shenanigans, because I guess this is their last expo that they're going to be going to.
Really?
Yeah, which is why it was so hyped up. So yeah, Great Lakes Lacquer still open so far as I know, website and everything, but not going to be going to any more expos. I do not know any more than that, unfortunately. So
dang, I'm so curious now.
We'll have to do some investigating, figure out what's up with that. Right? I think it's more just I can't imagine like carrying and managing all that inventory, setting up a booth, and then standing there for the whole day. That was one thing I wasn't anticipating. I guess it's been a while since I've just like stood for 8 hours. But like my legs were killing me by the end of it. I saw everybody doing this. We were doing the little flamingo hop, you know, going from one leg to another, because like, oh my goodness. Because you don't want to go sit down. You can. There was like tables where you could go sit down, but like then you might miss out on a polish. Yeah, I gotta say, like, I almost feel a little, well, I mean, I'm glad this happened to me this time and not say next year, because I'll talk about this a bit more when it happens, but I am a large woman, and there is a pretty good chance that next year I will be less large. And the reason that I will be is because it has gotten harder for me to kind of get around and stuff.
So I was not looking forward to being someone who already has issues with, stamina and going through that. So dang, yeah.
It took a lot more than I was expecting. So now that I know that, I'm gonna maybe be better prepared for next year. Like, I thought my shoes were fine, but like I'm gonna make sure I've got some good standing around shoes. In one line, I think it was for Sassy Sauce. Was it Sassy Sauce? I forget. It's all kind of a blur. Anyway, in one line, we stood in front of an older lady who brought her own little folding chair, and I was like, "You know what you're doing." That's genius.
If I bring my mom next year, which is a possibility, I will bring my mom. That's gonna be her.
Yep. Yep. No,
really gonna be her.
There was plenty of moms and daughter duos there, and it was really cute. Let's see. The other really long line was the polished pickup table. It wrapped like all the way around the back of the expo and actually kind of blocked Cupcake Polish and Glisten and Glow. So you had to go through the line to get to those booths. But then Glisten and Glow also had a decent line. So it met up with the Polish pickup line. And so you got to that split point where people were just facing opposite directions and you were like, okay, which one are we in line for? So yeah, it was a little cramped in there. It was a lot of people, but we made our way through. I think I only missed a few booths, and there was a few booths that I voluntarily ignored, like the What's Up Nails, because I saw all those stamping plates and I was like, I can't. I will go home with
I didn't even realize they were there.
Yeah, they were there. That was cool. Cleona Cosmetics had a big stand in the middle with their big cool symbol on like this, I want to call it a sheet, but like fancier than that.
Yeah.
It was really cool. It made kind of like a donut shape with all the booths. So the very center of the convention was like just the sellers and like their families. So there's like a lot of kids running around in there. So at one point, I don't know if we want to include this, but it was funny. There were these like big wires hanging from the ceiling, big thick wires, and there was this little girl running around playing, and she ran right into some of those wires and like got caught for a second. I was waiting for a big spider to come down and take her away. She wasn't hurt. She like untangled herself and kept running, but it was just kind of funny watching her just go boom like a little fly. Yeah. Oh. But yeah, so there wasn't as much socializing at the expo as I was anticipating. It was really, everyone was very focused shopping. It was like, go, go, go. So I'm really glad that I went to the meetup. So I recommend for anyone thinking about going to PBE next year, I would recommend getting the tickets to the meet and greet the night before, because that's when you actually get to talk to people and socialize. Because once you're in that expo, it is all hands on deck. I saw one woman with an entire packet, stapled paper packet, making notes and crossing things off.
Wild.
Yeah, I was like, and me and Krista were both standing there like, I don't have a plan. I'm just gonna go for it.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't have a plan, because it would have been, heck on earth to figure it out from my hotel room.
Yeah.
But I was just excited about the PBE table, which Danie did get me one of the polishes that I wanted, which I did not grab.
The PPU table, yes.
Virgo Moon, a pumpkin seed fish out of water.
It's the last
didn't grab
one.
That. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm going to try to get a clip of this from our last polish pickup, but yes. Yeah, it's a very, very long and somewhat traumatic story about catching a fish. And last polish pickup bingo. Yes, polish pickup. When the thing was too long, when the snippet was too long, Danie would hand it off to me, which I loved. I'm very happy to do that next Sunday. Do it that way, because that was really, because I like reading those things, but it's so hard. I want people to be able to see the polish while the description's being read.
Right.
And I'm the one whose screen they could see. So I guess I could open up 2 windows. But yeah, so Danie handed that one off to me, and there were a couple of ones that just kept on going. That one was not the longest.
No, the longest, I don't even remember what the story was. I just remember that it was long. It just kept going.
About somebody's love of an author and all of the books that they had read.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it's still going.
It's still going.
And do not get me wrong, it was so fun to read. So like, this is not a dig at all. But yeah, so I got a pumpkin seed fish out of water, which I regretted not getting from last Polish pickup. And so I'm holding it in my hand right now. I love it. I love it so much. Other than that though, I just wanted to see what I was going to see. I wanted to meet people. So, So it sounds like if you want to meet people, the first day is the important day.
Yes. The meet and greet was definitely for socializing, and the expo, they were hyper focused on those stands and shopping, and there was so much to see. It was so cool. Just getting to see all the creators too. So like, I finally learned how to say Syzygy Boston, their name, because I've been calling it Sigsy this whole time. They had a cool stand with all their polishes and stickers. I got some stickers and some earrings, including corn on the cob earrings, which that's just adorable and hilarious. And I finally had to ask them, I was like, what is your name? What does it mean? Or whatever. And they explained that Syzygy is when 3 celestial bodies align. So like lunar eclipse would be a Syzygy. And I was like, oh, it's not just some random name. It's a thing. So that was cool getting to learn that and just talking and seeing the creators totally match their brand, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, you look like a Syzygy Boston, which is awesome. A little quirky, super fun. Who is it? Dom Polish, was this
the Dom Diva?
Dom, no, not Don Diva, Dom, D-A-M.
Oh, Dom, D-A-M. Okay,
yeah,
yes.
Damn. Super fun and adorable, and again, shout out to the husbands who were working those stands, supporting their ladies. That was awesome to see. At one point, who was it? Hang on. Was it Sassy Sauce? I think it might have been one of the ladies who runs Sassy Sauce. Came up to me and Ghost Husband and Krista and her boyfriend and took a selfie with them, saying it was for Polish Daddies. Apparently, there's a competition for who had the best Polish daddy, and they would win a prize. If anyone in our audience knows what hashtag to look that up on, I want to see.
Who won? Who is the alpha Polish daddy?
I want to know who the alpha. There was a good amount of them there. I admittedly didn't see a whole lot of like Polish men there who were like buying for themselves. It seemed to be mostly partners, but that was fine. It was still cool to see. There's a good amount of men there. And so yeah, I want to see the Polish daddies on Instagram.
Look, next year, if they do that next year, I submit myself. I would like to be entered into the Polish Daddy competition.
Okay.
Please let me be a Polish Daddy.
I know. I was like, that is a cool title. I like it. Ghost Husband made just an absolutely awful face for his picture, so...
So he probably won. Probably.
Exactly. I'm like, you stood out. Maybe you'll win. That was really funny. So yeah, the expo went on, and we... Like I said, I didn't get to see every single table, but we did make the full round, and then we went to sit and recover a little bit, have a snack, a very overpriced snack, but it's okay.
It's a convention.
Exactly, it's a convention, and rest our legs a little bit, and then it was time for the raffle, the door prizes, because we all got tickets when we came in with the general admission. And our very own Wendy actually won one of the raffles. I don't remember what did she win? It was do you remember?
I don't.
I don't remember. But was it one of the bags or something? I don't know. Anyway, they had a lot of cool prizes. The Helmers went first, and everyone was really excited about that. I was really hoping to win the all-inclusive tickets for next year, but I was one number off. So they did the last 4 numbers, and it was like, yeah, it was correct. Not mine.
Oh, bummer.
It was a big bummer.
Bummer.
That's okay. It was a lot of fun, and I'm very much looking forward to next year. I learned a lot about how to go at it a little bit better. But I think I'm probably going to do the same thing next year and not go in with a plan, because then you can't be disappointed if someone sells out of something. And I'm just gonna enjoy what I can get.
You know, I really felt like you and I don't even have as like the biggest collections that of like our closest friends,
right?
Compared to us, you know. But at the same time, I feel like there are so few niches that must be filled in my collection for me to need to make one of these wish lists. And I know that for a lot of, like, I'm not trying to say like, and neither should you, we need people to be doing this or else these events can't happen.
Yes.
We need people to be hyped and buying these things or else we can't have these. But I think you and I are a bit on the same page where we're just like, you know, like, we're going to get in there. We're going to have a good time. This is about the time we're having. We don't need to buy every single polish.
Right. As much as I'd like to, at the end of the day, I'm looking for, honestly, like I said, I'm looking for it to say PBE 23 on the bottle. Not focus too much on the polish itself, just really a memento from the actual expo, like a souvenir more than an actual, like, polish that I'm going to wear all the time. So.
Well, what a magical weekend for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just keep going.
It's okay. You're allowed
time.
to.
Small tangent time. One of my favorite plays ever written is Titus Andronicus, written by a little playwright named William Shakespeare. And
it's very niche.
There are some people in the theater world, myself included, although I'm not really in the theater world anymore, who think that show is actually a comedy. And one of the best parts in it that really sets in that I really think it's a comedy is somebody says, and I don't remember exactly the line, but they're like, let's not let this get out of hand. And if you like don't know Titus Andronicus, both of his hands get cut off, and he basically is like, some of us don't have hands, you know, like, to something that was like a figurative word. So right now I'm very much like Titus Andronicus saying, like, well, that must have been really nice to go. But no, I'm very glad, you know, I'm very glad that my friends got to go and have fun. So I didn't want people to just be like, we can't have fun. Stephanie's not having fun. So yeah, it was, it sounds magical and exhausting.
Yes.
And like, I need to, get some workouts in before. Next year. I
do too. Like, we better start those calf raises, you know, start squeezing the glutes, because it's a lot of standing.
You know what? We were both in marching band, so we should be able to do this.
We should be able to do this, yeah.
We should be able to do this. We should be able to do this with a tray of polish that doesn't shake even at all.
Yes.
Like it's the glutes. Yeah. Are you marching band kids out there? Do you know what we're talking about?
Better hold those glutes steady.
You should be able to hold a penny between your butt cheeks is a thing that was apparently fine to say to high schoolers.
It was a different time.
It was a different time then.
Yeah, we were told if it's not burning, you're not doing it right.
Yeah. I still remember doing those calf stretches. It was like, okay, all right.
Just like feeling the muscle crack and all the lactic acid leaking out. It's like, oh my God.
Let me tell you, if you haven't marched backwards at like 10 miles per hour holding a baritone horn at floor level, you haven't lived, my friend.
You have not lived. You've not been doing it right. Band kids unite.
Right. Yes, exactly. All right. Well, I think that is it for the day. I'm sure we will have more stories and everything coming out as we continue.
Yes, because while we were
digesting,
because while we were in Chicago, the Polish world was marching forward. Cirque had a birthday sale. Holo Taco came out with a release that literally made me cry out of nostalgic love.
If y'all know me, y'all know my ridiculous petty beef with Christine. There was not a question.
Nothing.
I saw it, and I bought the most inclusive pack I could instantaneously. No thoughts, head empty, only polish.
Bye.
Bye. Exactly. Ain't no lie, baby. Bye. Okay. And I'm going to do the same exact thing in September when that Sophia collab comes out.
No.
And so is everybody else in the world.
I know. You got to get ready. Stretch those fingers.
Yep. Set my alarm.
Yes.
Set it today for that day. So, yeah, Christine, hitting it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
Hitting it out of the park. And that is coming from me, who really didn't like Double Dare, okay? It became a year-long beef. Anyway, I think that is enough for today.
I concur. Thank you all so much for listening. Please check out our YouTube channel and leave a comment with your favorite moment, a story to share, and of course, any questions you'd like us to answer in future episodes.
And be sure to check out Danie and I on Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm Fanaticure. She is Danie Shout. All of our links are in the description. Join us next time when we talk to our alternate universe selves about Stephanie's experience at the Expo and Danie's hotel room quarantine.
Stay lacquered.